over 240 years of automotive knowledge between them, when it comes to new cars, our judges are the ones to trust. They will assess these 28 contenders, taking into account buyer expectation, cost of purchase and value for money.
There's no barrier here, and I don't think that's very safe.
With a record number of electric vehicles this year, innovation takes centre stage. Looks really nice, I like it.
I don't like it. It's not clear enough.
Although consumers tell us that style and design are top of the list,
this has got everything else that pushes it towards luxury.
As we know, it's safety first.
Doesn't matter how well it goes or turns, if it doesn't stop, it's a lethal weapon.
This is the ultimate comparison guide for anyone in the market for a new car. This is Car Sales Car of the Year, proudly presented by Shell V-Power. First up, our qualifying vehicles will be assessed for practicality and presentation.
For a lot of buyers, they're looking for that detail in the car, so that's what we're really kind of nutting out now. What's the surprise and delight features? You know, what has been added to this car that perhaps is unique in its market?
So we've got quad climate, which is...
and that's the only car here that's got the full climate, right? We're also looking at what provision the manufacturer has given for a spare tyre. So is there a full-size spare? Is there a space saver? Is it just an inflator kit? Is it a run-flat tyre? A lot of these things probably don't occur to the buyer when they're in the showroom, but they're the things that really matter once the car's on the road. We've got a wagon here, we've got a couple of SUVs, and we've got this hatch as well. So we're comparing a hatch and we're looking at how does that perform within its segment. I mean, the Velocitor's got 3 doors. It's very stylish, but how practical is it?
I've got no problem with it. I think it's quite a clever design. I quite like it.
You are in a minority of one on this.
I know, well, you know, the great silent minority.
The Hyundai Veloster that we've just jumped out of has caused a little bit of contention. I think there's some of us that really like that asymmetrical styling. There's others that aren't so impressed. I guess it's one of those things about giving the buyers choice.
Next, the judges assess for dynamics and safety.
People care about a lot of things when they buy a car, the look predominantly, but braking is probably lowest on the list, and yet it's the most important dynamic aspect of a car. Doesn't matter how well it goes or turns, if it doesn't stop, it's a lethal weapon potentially.
What we're doing here is we're testing the distances that cars can pull up from 100 kilometres an hour. And like, we're seeing variances here of up to 10 metres. And that's the difference between life and death.
We're trying to really replicate what people do in an emergency stop. So the EVs are typically a bit heavier, so that's really coming into play. We're seeing that in the braking distances.
Out of all the cars we've tested, this has probably been one of the worst. I think with something like the Kona, low rolling resistance tyres, weight were both big factors. And yeah, it just brings the score down. This car did nothing overly bad or dangerous, it just took longer to stop than the rest.
So we're testing for innovation and technology. Where do I start with the Tesla Model 3? This thing is festooned with cool stuff. I mean, it's got one of the biggest screens in this entire test. But one of the interesting things about it that I really like is the bonnet. It makes the car look kind of ugly, but because it slopes down really low, the view of the road is impressive. So we're not only looking at the infotainment, how things work, but we lift the car from the hoist and we look at what they're doing in an engineering sense. The cool thing about hoisting the cars up is you get to really see the nuts and bolts. Not a lot of people get to see what's under the cars. Bit of aero, neat. I like this. This is really nice. This sort of attention to detail is something that not all Car of the Year awards will do, and we get right into the nitty-gritty, and I think it's important. There is no shielding. If you take this off-road, half of these electronics are going to get smashed to pieces.
At this point, we've got to tally up our scores and bring in the Red Book data, which looks at really hard facts around ownership costs, service, warranty, resale values, something people don't really think about. So the Red Book data is incredibly important for those reasons.
With 18 vehicles now out of contention, these are our 10 finalists.
Three BMWs rising to the top of the pack.
Could you repeat that, please?
BMW.
Yeah, but it's a nice, smooth, comfortable ride, isn't it?
It's gorgeous, as a Jaguar should be.
The Toyota Supra, what do you make of it?
A 6-cylinder for the price of a 4-cylinder, which is a really good thing.
Yeah.
Do you think the 330i presents a strong enough case to purchase a sedan over an SUV?
Got space, flexible space, decent boot, and the ride and handling, it's got to be up there with one of the best here.
Great engine in this car, this inline 6-cylinder diesel. I really love it. I love it to death.
Yeah, and I think, look, it's a terrific engine matched to an absolutely fantastic and capable chassis.
This is the best driving SUV here.
Oh, and by a fair margin too.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a truck. And the other thing is, the dreaded head toss is not present. Now that's the biggest thing for me with SUVs. You can tell they're rubbish when they throw your head around.
This thing handles so well, like for a massive SUV.
Considering how wide it is and how heavy it is, 2.2 tonnes.
I know, it just pulls.
It feels like a go-kart, like it's sitting flat on the road.
I love it.
This car is really about comfort, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
It just has a reasonably, well, it's the opposite of the Tesla, isn't it? It's like, it's all pretty for me, whereas a Tesla's a shocker than you.
When I got in this, I didn't really know what to expect, and I found it. I'm an old bloke, let's be honest, and I found it a bit confronting.
I think this is a car that you have to learn to use it rather than just jump in and drive.
It does its best to hang on. It does. It's a car that's suited more for long distance touring. A lot of people don't necessarily want the motoring, cornering, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
This is probably Volkswagen's best luxury offering today. Those rear mixes are being practical, nice to look at, functional, comfortable, and tech savvy as well.
And we're completely spoiled for choice because any of these cars at Car of the Year is a great car.
Yes, yeah.
We've done like 2 really full days of back-to-back driving, and that feels like the intense part, but the deliberations actually are the part that really take a lot out of you.
Perhaps the biggest question is Australia ready for electric cars?
Yeah. Well, there's a few things you've really got to have sorted out before you go, right, I can go here. You've got to download an app. You've got to make sure the plug fits.
I had an experience with another electric car the other night. I had to drive home at night in the rain with no wipers and no headlights.
Well, that's hardly user-friendly. That is dangerous.
I think they will work for some people. I think you just have to sort of plan your life around them.
I hear a lot about EVs and the potential battery life of only 8 years. But in reality, a lot of modern vehicles are not being designed to be kept on the road for more than that time anyway.
How many of us would be happy to own just an EV as our only car?
Yeah, I'd get away with it.
Yeah.
Less than half.
How many people would own it as a second car?
Yeah.
Times are changing.
So it's been a big week and we've all survived just. And how 2 highly commended cars for this year are the Volkswagen Touareg and the BMW X3.
Not bad.
And the car sales car of the year for 2019 is BMW 3 Series.
Yes.
And it's not an SUV.
That's a strong top 3.
That car doesn't alienate anyone. It's really easy to drive.
It's a level up on all its competitors.
It has the perfect compromise of ride comfort and handling prowess.
It doesn't matter where you sit in that car. It's spacious, you don't have to compromise yourself to get in or out.
It was one of the most unanimous votes we've ever had.
I'm really excited that this has won our car sales car of the year. It's enjoyable as a driver's car, it's safe, it's loaded with tech. So for a car to do well, it needs to stand out in every area, and the 330i has done that this week.